child, all of this detail. You as a lawyer and a prosecutor didn't think that was important to offer on your own?
Oh, I think it's important.
You told this jury how cooperative you've been and how much information you wanted to provide, but you left out the most important parts, didn't you?
I left out that. I sure did.
You don't consider that one of the most important parts?
I think it's important.
We are covering the verdict live in the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial that came down tonight after having the case for less than 3 hours. Guilty on all charges in connection with the murders of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. Attorney Sarah Zari and Dave Ehrenberg are back, but let's check in first with law and crime reporter Angenette Levy, who has been in the courtroom covering the trial. Angenette, first of all, great job out there for our Law and Crime Network. Really appreciate that. Let me ask you, were people in the courtroom or around the courtroom as stunned as we were about how quick this verdict came back?
Hi, Dan. Thank you for having me and for your kind words. I think some people were, but some were not.
Right.
There were a lot of people kind of here in the Colleton County area, in the kind of the courthouse in the know, who thought this would be a quick deliberation. We were hearing that last night, that people thought this jury was not going to go through the weekend, that it was not going to take long. And I think that if you looked at some of the jurors' faces throughout the closing arguments, you could see that some of them were done. There was a wrench thrown in things this morning for the defense. One of the jurors was removed, a woman who had apparently talked about this, not extensively, but had talked about this with some people, and the judge found out through an email sent to him by somebody, and there was an investigation launched. The defense objected to that juror being removed because SLED agents were a part of the investigation and interviewing some of the witnesses related to that. So that is probably somebody that they thought was on their side. So if you watched this jury through the closing arguments today, I think you could tell that, they were ready to go. And I must point out, I thought it might be today because the forewoman came in today wearing a pantsuit. I hadn't seen that before. And then there was a juror next to her who was also wearing a suit jacket and some dress slacks, and a woman up top was wearing a really nice skirt and some boots. So there were some of these jurors that were really dressed up for today. Obviously, they didn't come out and give a press conference or anything, but it made me think that this was important.
No, it's a really good note, because those of us who cover trials, are often looking for those little clues from the jurors. Look, I wish some of the people who knew it was going to be a fast verdict had been on my show last night, because then I could have said, see, look, instead of sitting here saying, oh, it's going to be a super long, I was on this morning saying, oh, it's going to be a super long deliberation process. You mentioned the juror who was dismissed. It sounds like you're suggesting that maybe that juror, if she hadn't been dismissed, might have hung the jury?
It's quite possible. There were people close to the defense who felt that this was going to be a hung jury. And we really felt, and I think I told you this last night, Dan, that the defense was probably going to be speaking maybe to one or two jurors. And this was maybe one of those jurors that they had some faith in. There was another juror that some people in the courtroom thought, maybe this person will hang the jury. But the alternate who was left, the one I called Blanket Lady, she seemed to be kind of friendly to the defense too, but she didn't end up being selected to replace that juror, obviously.
Wow. And sentencing expected tomorrow. Do we know anything about whether Murdaugh's expected to speak?
I don't know. I mean, why not? He's already spoken. He was on the stand testifying for 2 days. So what does he have to lose at this point? He faces anywhere from 30 years to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His attorneys did not speak as they left the courthouse this evening. I had spoken to them briefly over by the media center earlier today, and I said, how are you doing? They said tired. But they were, hopeful. They were hopeful, but obviously those hopes were dashed. They sent out a statement just in the last 15 minutes or so saying that they would be holding a press conference tomorrow following the sentencing. They would not be commenting beforehand, but they will be having a press conference. So we will hear from them tomorrow, right here, possibly in front of the Colleton County Courthouse, about an hour after sentencing.
All right, Angenette Levy, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.